And of course, now the committee came out and they named the 12 teams, and most notable, Notre Dame did not make the cut, and they've gone on to since announce that they will be opting out of any bowl game invitation. They're just not going to play in the bowl game. And honestly, I don't blame them, bro. They've, a lot of people are saying, well, Notre Dame, obviously they're an independent, so they play like a pretty easy schedule. But to me, like James Madison and Tulane made the college football playoff, and I think it's like, if you, it's the five highest ranked conference winners, they make the playoffs automatically, right? Um, I don't know how the hell. I don't know. James Madison got. I don't know how. I don't know. I guess they won their conference. I don't. I know that their coach. He's going to be the new coach at UCLA. But James Madison. Why is James Madison in the college football playoff? Tulane is bad enough, but especially James Madison. You know, I remember Tulane beat USC in a bowl game, but still, I feel like Tulane should not be in the college football playoff. And James Madison, Tulane and James Madison over Notre Dame. You gonna leave Notre Dame out? You know, now, I'm a USC man, but I didn't go to USC, so I'm the kind of person who, I don't take the rivalries as personally. It's people who actually went to USC, right? But Notre Dame is one of the historically great programs. I would say that for you, arguably a top three program in the history of college football. Along with USC and Ohio State. Well, yeah. Well, probably. Well, we got to put Alabama in there too. So that would be, if there was a Mount Rushmore, they'd probably be up there. Then you got, your Oklahomas, you got your Michigans, you got your schools like that, right? But yeah, man, like uh, it, it, it's 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 it may. I just feel like college football these days. It absolutely sucks, bro. Um, Number one, there are no more dominant teams. Um, the reason that is because of obviously NIL, which uh, works in tandem with the transfer portal to make where you can't really build the type of depth and like monopolize talent the way that the powerhouse programs used to be able to do. Um, because instead of kids sitting and going like USC might have an interesting situation. I talked about the quarterback situation for next year. If Jaden Maava stays, what does Hassan Longstreet do? He redshirted this year, so he'll be a redshirt freshman next year. I mean, back when I was a youngster, the quarterback would just sit and he would wait his turn if it even came. Like so, when I was a youngster, Carson Palmer was the quarterback. Matt Leinart was sitting behind him, as well as Matt Castle was sitting behind him. You know, so it's two Heisman winners and another guy who went on to have a decent NFL career. Matt Castle didn't even play at USC and still got drafted. So uh, and then John David Booty, he sat, and Mark Sanchez sat. You know, and then you go on, Cody Kessler, he sat. You know, so and Miller Moss, he sat. And that was more recent. But it used to be that you would sit and you would wait your turn until it was your turn. And nowadays kids don't do that because number one, the transfer portal was made it so easy to transfer. When I was young, you had to if you transferred, you had to sit out a year. And I think you would lose you definitely had to sit out a year, and I think you would also lose a year of eligibility. Well now you can just transfer willy nilly after every season, play as many schools as you can in your 4 years. You know. So they made it way too easy to transfer. They transfer without any type of uh, penalty or any type of thing to discourage you from transferring. And then also NIL, kids are like, you see had a situation last year where I forget who the backup running back was, but I think he just wanted more money. So he went. I forget where he transferred to. Now, he ended up getting hurt. But that's another factor also. It's like Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison, he was um, at Pittsburgh, at Pitt, and he wanted a little bit more money, so he came and transferred to USC. You know, so you take the money factor, and then you take the transfer portal, and you just can't have the same type of depth and continuity that you used to have in college football. And then Indiana beating Ohio State. How the hell is Indiana football 13-0 now? The number one seed in the college football playoff, and they just beat Ohio State for sure. I mean, because I said that Notre Dame was arguably top three. Ohio State for sure. Listen, the top three programs in the history of college football are Ohio State, USC, and Alabama, and Notre Dame is four, right? So Ohio State for sure a top three program. I said arguably for Notre Dame. So yeah, arguably, but it's not even arguable. It's really just they're like a solid four, But USC, Ohio State, and Alabama would have to be the top three. But so you got Ohio State. They're the defending champions in this historic program. They're undefeated. How the hell does Indiana beat Ohio State? That's not college football? What the hell is that? You know? So, and then, like I said, this 12-team playoff, right? And Tulane and James Madison, they get in over Notre Dame. And Notre Dame, they say, well, we don't even want to play the bowl game now. Forget about it. And it's because, it used to be, I came up during the BCS era. So whatever the title game was, that would be one bowl game, whether it be the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, whatever it was. Or then whatever it was, then you still have the other ones, So maybe the title game was the Orange Bowl, but you still have the Rose Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, right? Those four major bowl games, and they still meant something, And now it's not like that. The last time I can remember when USC played Penn State in the bowl game in the Rose Bowl in 2016, that was a hell of a game. But you don't really see that type of stuff because the playoffs basically made it obsolete, So yeah, bro, it sucks, man. When it's like all that matters now. If I wanted to watch the NFL, I watch the NFL, which I do. I liked it. I mean, I still love, I still like the NFL. Still talk about it on the podcast. But I like college football and love college football for a different reason. And now, I always, like college football more than I like the NFL. But now they're making college football like the NFL. And it's just, to me, it's just not as fun as it used to be. We should be like, okay, well, maybe USC versus whoever else, back when I was a kid, it would, USC would play in the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl would obviously between the Pac-10 champion and the Big Ten champion. So a lot of times it'd be USC and Michigan. That's a historic type Rose Bowl game. They wouldn't play Ohio State that much in the Rose Bowl, but they played Illinois one year. They played Penn State. So that has been lost. All the bowl games now are in the part of the playoffs. So I don't know. It's just, to me, this is not what college football was intended to be. College football is supposed to be college football. It's not supposed to be the NFL.